Emmanuel Opemo.
Thank you so much.
I take this opportunity to welcome you here.
It's my honor.
Emmanuel Opemo is a graduate of Kenyatta University, a graduate in economics, and the young man hails all the way from Malego, and he's here to share his thoughts on this interview, what he thinks about the younger generation, and what this country holds. So, Opemo, feel most welcome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you for having me today.
Tell me, when were you born, and how did you go through your school to where you are sitting?
Well, okay, I was born in 1998. That was on the 6th of January. Yeah, so you can calculate that. And of course, I went to Rapogi Primary School in Siaya County, currently Siaya Sub-County again, Murmalanga Sub-Location, Matera Village. So that is where my primary education came, and I did score some quite good marks, 353.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's no joke, you know?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And of course, after that, I went to Sawagongo High School, Sawanyoyo, as some people know it. But it's a good school. It's one of the schools that have shaped me to be the person I am today. I appreciate these good teachers that were there, Mr. Kaunda, and everybody else. And of course, after that, I got some kind of good grades, you know, A-, 78 points.
Congratulations.
Wow, that was good.
Nice one.
So after that, I went to do economics and statistics at Kenyatta University, graduated in 2022, and yes, here I am. Yes, this is basically me and my education otherwise.
Wonderful. When I was growing up, I was being asked a question. What would you like to be when you grow up? Were you asked that question?
Yes,
and,
definitely.
I want you to take me through that in stages. At primary, what did you want to become? And then did that change at secondary? And then did that change at the university? Through those three stages.
I was in Rapogi Primary School. We were never asked what we want to be when we were growing up, because that's the deep in the village.
Correct.
And the most respected person was either a Catholic priest or a teacher. So that one did come into play. And when I went to secondary school, of course, this came, and I wanted to be a lawyer, to study at Moi University. I don't know why that went, but at Form 3, I realized that this law thing is not my thing. And I think I was good with numbers, that's mathematics, and business. So I decided to know what. At the time, I think the government was coming out with this ambitious plan of Vision 2030. During the Kibaki's time, there was some kind of that talk, and it transitioned into Kenyatta's time, and I had that inept ability to come and at least help my country to navigate the complex economic intricacies that are bedeviling our nation. And that's why I said I want to be an economist, and yes, here I am.
Thank you very much. Tell me, as you were growing up in high school, who inspired you the most?
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama.
Yes.
Tell me how you connected with Barack Obama's inspiration.
Barack Obama in 2012? 2013 he came to Kenya.
Yes.
2015 he came to Kenya.
Yes.
Some time back.
Yes.
But I think I was in high school. And at the time, when he was coming to Kenya, the print media.
He came in 2006 and 2015.
So I think in 2015,
yes,
that's when I was in high school. The print media was awash with the numerous good stories of Barack Obama and what have you. And in my village, he came up with this program of helping the people, especially eradicating grass-thatched houses to iron-roofed houses, which I think was very good at the time. And looking at, you know, he was a leader abroad and transformed his father's village, and I think that was very, very touching of me. And so I connected with that to make sure that I bring probably development in my village, because as I do say, charity begins at home, and that is what I loved about it. And yeah, so he inspired me a lot.
Take it a little further. These things change as you grow up.
Definitely.
When you are at the university, who was your biggest inspirer?
Well, when I was in the university, I'm not sure if I can pinpoint anyone, but I think Barack Obama still played a role, and Professor P.L. Lumumba. I am a great orator myself, so I study what people say, how they think, and what can we learn from that? And I think Pierre Lumumba has some great insights. When you listen to his speeches, I started listening to his speeches when I was still in, I think in high school, thereabout. So when you listen to the flow of words and how ideas are flowing, you seem to kind of like someone. Yeah, just the way they speak. So you love them. So when you incorporate the ideas that they are speaking about, then it really comes out as a nice thing. So I think Barack Obama and PLO Lumumba, yeah, they played kind of a significant role, especially now that I love speaking a lot myself. So, and ideas, of course.
I think you are carried away by the eloquence.
Not the eloquence though, but the ideas, of course, the eloquence plays a part. Yeah. You need to be very eloquent and coherent when you are pushing out your agenda or your points. And
let's get a little technical. You are in the field of economics.
Definitely.
Whose works do you respect the most?
Sir John Maynard Keynes, a respected economist, the father of the current economist. Yeah. So in economics, I think we have the neoclassical economists and then the John Maynard Keynes that just came a little bit later. So Keynes argues that the government can get into the markets, but holding back, you understand? So when the economy is in shambles, so sometimes it can nosedive, but the government has to come in to rescue the situation. You understand? So I think that is one of the best economic reasoning that John Keynes came out with, that inspires, especially most of the economies. So, for example, in Kenya here, we don't practice. We do practice. The government do rather interferes.
Let me frame the question so that you can go there. I appreciate the work of John Keynes, and Kenya is where it is today economically, and you are a young man. What do you make of the Kenyan economy in view of what John Keynes taught you? What can we borrow from that teaching to make Kenya better?
Well, there's a lot of things that John Keynes explains, especially in his economic works. So Kenya today, our economy is pegged on our resources. Are we together? And there's purchase, the buying and selling of goods. And we have the market forces at play. So for example, let's say I want to take an example of water. So we have numerous water in numerous supply. So when the supply is quite much, then the demand might come down, and of course that one will affect the price. So there is what we call the fuel economy. The fuel. Fuel is one of the commodities that is used, especially in Kenya here, to determine how the economy will go.
Correct.
You see? So the government has to come in to make sure that it puts a price cap. That's why you realize that each and every month, I think, the EPRA comes in and say, today we'll be selling fuel at this particular point. Yes, because if it does not, then we will have a runaway kind of inflation. And that one will impact your pocket significantly. And you won't want that.
Good.
Yes.
Let me take you back to your Gen Z environment. As a young man, I saw many young Kenyans in the streets.
Yeah.
And their quarrel was that they didn't want to see the finance bill. What is it in the finance bill that angered the Gen Zs?
Oh, thank you so much for that question. Now, the finance bill was very huge, of course. You need to read it wholesomely. So there's some facets or pockets of the bill that were not quite consistent with what we had. So for example, there was introduction of the digital levy, an increase of the same. So you realize that Kenya employment is quite hard. Most of the people use social media. And when you introduce a tax to social media, that simply means that you cut the access to social media. So simply put that the number of people who were previously benefiting from social media will reduce. Are we together? And when that reduction happens, unemployment floods, it increases. So that's one of them. So we wouldn't want that. Nobody, we want Kenyans to be employed in different avenues.
Correct.
So when you close one and you don't open another, then you will have a problem. You understand?
I understand. I have this question that has been troubling me.
Yeah.
I have Gen Z children, Gen Z in my house, and communication is a challenge.
Yes.
And Gen Z have issues. Which is the best way of engaging Gen Zs so that they can be understood and they can also understand?
Now, I am a conservative. I hold the view that family is the basic political, social, and economic unit. Each and every challenge that Gen Zs are experiencing today, especially in terms of communication, goes back to the family unit, where you come from. I come from Alego myself. And in Alego, at the time I was growing, we didn't have the benefit of having phones and what have you. So we will sit down as a family, talk to each other, talk about the things that we're facing through. And our father, of course, he's a very good person, Mr. Samuel Opemo. Thank him for that, you know. He made sure that we grow up responsible citizens of the country, people who can engage in civil discourse without throwing words and tantrum, people who not abuse other people because you differ in ideas or opinions. So it is the responsibility of the parents to make sure that their children come out better citizens of the country, not shifting that to other people or the government or the school. Yeah.
Children are taken away from their parents at very early age. You go to
School.
Preparatory school, to primary, secondary, university, and you spend a lot of time there, not to mention technology. How has the denial of children time with their parents affected communication?
Well, that's a very good question. But now I would like to answer it in two ways. And I think we have different type of setting here. We need to understand that. We have the urban setting and the rural setting. So I am familiar with both. In terms of the urban setting, since most of the communication that is done is between the children and not their parents and other parties, then the child will be more comfortable to other parties, but not their parents. That is opposite in the rural setting. You see, for example, in the rural setting, you go to nursery school, you come back at around 12 p.m. Most of the time you spend with your parents and you kind of become comfortable with them. That's different. So I think the government should come up with a policy to make sure that the number of hours that a child spent with their parents, especially when they are developing, at the developing stage, should be more, so that the parents should instill globally accepted morals to their children. I think the president even complained about it the other day that, you know, parents are not doing a good job in parenting their children. But the jury is still out there for them, for that.
Now that we are giving chance to the Gen Zs to define the destiny of this country, do you think the Gen Zs in their collectivity are equal to the task of redefining this country?
Gen Zs have always been equal to the task. I am also equal to the task. Because, let me tell you, Mheshimiwa, most of the revolutions around the world have always been driven by the young generation. just to give you a heads up, in Ethiopia here, before Prime Minister Abiy came to power, the generation that led that revolution was young. Go to this nation in the Asian country that I think Sheikh Hasina, Bangladesh. The toppling out of Sheikh Hasina from the prime minister position was largely driven by the young generation. So the young generation are equal to the task. But the old guard must always come with the wisdom to help us navigate the nation moving forward.
Wonderful. Emmanuel Opemo.
Yes, yes, yes.
You are a Gen Z. Tomorrow you are pronounced the President of the Republic of Kenya. What will you do differently?
Well, you see, first of all, that's a very good one, because what I'll do is there are numerous problems bedeviling Kenyans today, but I'll focus on getting a report on each and every ministry, especially education and health, because those are some of the most important and integral sectors in our nation. So after that, then I'll, of course, get advice with the industry players onto how to manage that. And of course, listen to different quarters and make a decision that will lead the country to the right direction.
With that, we come to the end.
Thank you so much.
And I want to wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
With all the ambitions.
I appreciate you. Thank you so
very much, Emmanuel.
Good evening.